Peace. I'm Jamal Robinson with 720astrology.com. Today's date is January 11th, 2024. We have the new moon in Capricorn today, which I recently put out a video on. But what is also significant about today is that it's a 111. January 1, 11th, 1-1. And so I thought it would be a fitting time to release a video that I recorded at the end of 2023 as part of a series where I go into a deeper dive into the what's called the angel numbers 111 through 555. Now, my approach is going to be different from most of what you'll find online. It's not just a video giving an overview. I'm going more in depth, and we'll call it a mini lecture. So here it is. Hope you enjoy, and I hope that you take advantage of this new moon energy in Capricorn and lay firm and solid foundation for your 2024. 720astrology.com. Know the stars to know yourself. Peace. All right. 111. Primary number we're looking at is the 1. In Hebrew, the 1 coincides with the Aleph, which is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. But before we even proceed with delving into the Aleph, let's look at what the word for 1 is in Hebrew. Echid. Echid. So Echid is spelled Aleph, Ket, Dalet. Okay? Aleph has a value of 1. Ket has a value of 8. And Dalet has a value of 4. So 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 plus 4, 13. So even though Echid is the word for 1 in Hebrew, because it is comprised of the letters Aleph, Ket, and Dalet, it also holds a vibration of 13. So there's a correlation even between the Aleph and the number 13. So then we would look at other words that have the value of 13 to give even deeper context for Echid, which is the word for 1. So I wrote same vibration as Echid, which equals 13, is the word Behu. Behu means emptiness, void, terror, chaos. 2 and 5 is 7, 7 and 6, 13. So it gives us the same vibration because it adds up to the same numeric value. Also with the same vibration as Echid is the word Gehe. Gehe, it means health, healing. Gehe is a gimel, a hay, and a hay. So that's 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 and 5, 13. Now, what symbolically can we extract or glean from this? If Behu is emptiness, void, terror, chaos, that's the same as 0, as nothingness. Okay? It's chaos. There is no order. But ironically, holding the same vibration, we have Gehe, which is health, healing, which speaks to something ordered. Order is the opposite of chaos. So even in the Echid, which means 1, we can deduce that even in the number 1, we have the reconciliation of opposites. because we have chaos, emptiness, void reconciled with health and healing. Opposing forces are reconciled within the number one because it's unity. And in Kabbalah, this saying, from the nothing, which I'm attributing here to Behu, comes the absolute, Echid, one. From the nothingness comes the absolute. And they both have a numeric value of 13. Resolving the supposed duality, polarity. Another thing to glean from the Echid is that it's the agent of initiation, the leader, the causal principle. So when we say Echid, again, we're referring back to the Aleph and back to the number one, which is the root of 111. So as we move on with our exploration into the number 111 and the Aleph as the root letter associated with the root number 1, we draw our attention first to the fact that this is how we're going to approach this. We're going to start with the Aleph as it coincides with 1, then we'll go to a Yud as it coincides with the 10, and finally the Kaf because it coincides with 100. Basically, we're going to deal with the letter that is associated, that has the value of the next placeholder. Kind of like, second grade math. The 1s, the 10s, and the 100s, all right? So, we start off with the Aleph. Symbolically, the Aleph is the ox. Jumping down here, it's also the bull. Connection, bovine family. The ox is a work animal. Go out there and get the job done. Go, keep moving, keep moving. Power, forward thrust. The bull is the animal that we don't want to enrage. When the bull is enraged, we have problems because the bull is very powerful, okay? The bovine family in general, these are powerful animals. So the bull gives us that force aspect of that forward Martian thrusting force of Aleph, and ox is the power, the work that is unfolding, okay? It's a pulsating, unbridled force. It is also creative energy. So because that's associated with the Aleph, it also is associated with the number 1. Okay? When we take the Aleph and spell it out, we end up with an Aleph, a Lamed, and a final Pei. Okay? In Hebrew, we have certain letters. I think it's 5 letters. It's the Kaf, the Mem, the Nun, the Pei, and the Zadi. I think they all have final forms. So we have to acknowledge that this is the final form of Pei, which it has dual value. It can have the value of 880. Okay, so we're using the 80 value here. So Aleph is 1, Lamed is 30, that's 31, plus 80 equals 111. This is big. This is big because we are discussing 111. And when we deal with the root number of it and the letter it's associated with and the full spelling, the spelling of that letter, okay, then we see that it equals 111. Thus, we can deduce that the question is the answer. See, the Aleph starts the quest. So this is pure divine force first taking action here in Aleph. This is the absolute coming out of the nothingness. It's everything is there, but it's raw. It's undeveloped. It's pure God force here in the Aleph. But what this would suggest is that even in that raw force coming forward. Everything is there. The completion is already there. The question, which the root of question is quest, the quest is the answer. Once you get on your journey, what drove you to start that journey is what you're seeking. It is the journey. Let me go further to help explain this. The journey is the destination. What you are going through is already the destination. The initiation is the completion. Now, okay, if this just sounds like a bunch of metaphysical mumbo jumbo, then this ought to summarize it. This is the power of intent. What is intent? Tent as intention. This is force. In means inwardly. That means a squeezing within. What is driving you? What is driving you? When you get on your spiritual quest or spiritual journey, you are searching for something. You are on a quest. But the mere fact that you go on the quest, that's the answer. The answer is to be on the quest. Let me give you a quote from simple title. It's called Astrology by Ronald C. Davidson. The book opens up with this. The purpose of living is to discover the purpose of living. So again, the quest is the answer. He said the purpose of living is to discover the purpose of living. So the purpose of the question is to realize that you already are the answer. The purpose of the journey is to realize that you already are the destination. The purpose of the initiation to realize that you are already complete. Therefore, what pushes you is the perfection. The intention is the perfection. Because everything is already encased in the Aleph. It's just going on a journey. To further give context, this is what I did. This is Kether. So if you don't know anything about the tree of life in Kabbalah, I just stripped it down to the middle pillar here, okay? And the middle pillar consists of 4 Sepharith, Kether, Tifereth, Yesud, and Malkuth. All right? Now, when we take Kether, which is the Godhead, which is what is represented by Aleph, because this is the first point of initiation from the world of chaos, which would be Ein Sof, which is a triplicity that is beyond Kether. Well, those energies, which they amount to a storm cloud, they combine and create this force, this centered, I don't want to say centrifugal, centrifugal, yes, because it's unfolding. Yes, it's centrifugal, it's unfolding. It creates this point of unfolding that would terminate in Kether. But Kether has a value of 620. We can reduce that to 62. All right? Now, Kether, again, is the top of the middle pillar, which is broken down as Yod, Hey, Va, Hey. That's the ineffable name, the tetragrammaton. Okay? I've got it written here. Yod, Hey, Va, Hey. That adds up to 26. The reverse of Kether reduced. The reverse of 62 is 26. So it is, this middle pillar is showing the purpose of Aleph even moving. It's to unfold God force. Then when we get to the bottom Sephir, Malkuth, which I've spelled out, Mem, Lamed, Kaf, Va, Ta. They add up to 496. 496 reduces to 19. If we reduce it all the way, it's a 1, the same as the Aleph. The question is the answer. The journey is the destination. It is the initiating principle receiving itself. It has already come down here to receive itself. But it must go on a journey to find itself. So this is what we can kind of glean from the 1 in 111, which sets the tone for the number, the triplicity, 111. Now, to the second letter, the tens, okay? We go to the Yud. That's the symbol for it. Oh, that's the letter, the Yud. Numeric value of 10. Symbolically, the Yud has a lot of correlatives. Spirituality, the hand, the hand. I would say the open hand, okay? The handle, the monument, place, power, strength, to share, to know, perception, understanding. All of these can tie back to the Yud. When we spell it out, again, we see whenever we spell out a letter, the first letter is going to begin with the letter that we're focusing on. So Yud is comprised of a Yud, a Va, and a Dalet. That spells the letter Yud. They add up to a numeric value of 20. Now 20 is the same value as Kaf, the 20th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. The 11th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which we will come back and talk about. But Kaf means to grab, manage, achieve the crown. To achieve the crown. So we have that energy tied into the Yud. What may be the most important detail is that the Yud is the smallest letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which we could deduce that its meaning is humility. Humility. It's the smallest letter, but all of the letters are comprised of a Yud. There's going to be a Yud in all the letters. It's present. So it's subtle energy, spirituality, subtle energy, and also pointing to humility. Humility, I'm going to say it again, humility. And now we get to the hundreds. Kaf, with a value of 100. Symbolically, it means growth and holiness, cyclic wholeness. And yes, holy and whole are the same, come from the same etymological family. The only non-final Hebrew letter whose leg goes below the line, that's the Kaf. See the leg here? It's the only letter in Hebrew that's a non-final. Remember, we talked about the non-finals, those 5 final Hebrew scripts. They're going to have long legs. Well, this is a non-final. It's the only one of the non-finals that has a long leg that goes below the line. Now, we could imagine that this leg is boring a hole. I'm trying to demonstrate that. That leg is boring a hole. That hole and the action of it boring that hole can represent life and death. All right? Now, when we spell out the letter Kaf, Again, we start with the letter itself. It's a kaf, a va, and a final pei. That adds up to 186. If we take one of the cognates of this same word, meaning these letters, although they spell the letter kaf, they also form words, okay, which we were referring to as cognates. So a cognate of which means eye of the needle or hole in the axe blade. Two things we can glean from this. One, if it's the eye of the needle or the hole in the axe blade, we're talking about something circular, all right? There's an opening. But if it's the hole of a needle is used to move thread through. We're mending, we're putting things together when we're talking about the eye of the needle. The hole of the axe blade, the axe is used to break things apart. It's destructive. So we see we have again this reconciliation of duality. We're showing both sides. We show the beginning and the ending. You'll see with a lot of these things, we're talking about cycles. We're talking about moving us, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but why not? We're talking these triplicities, these numbers in triplicate are showing us about a movement, an evolution, and it's cyclical. But the cycle is not just a cycle around in one big gigantic circle. The spiral is moving us if we are evolving. It's moving us up. It's climbing Jacob's ladder. Okay, also having the same vibration as 186, which is the spelling of the word kaf. We have the word hinmatsa. Okay, and it means we find or was found. Remember when we started with the Aleph, we talked about a quest. A journey is beginning, but we also said that in the quest was the answer. In the journey was a destination. Okay, so it's fitting that when we get to Kaf, has a value of 100, that we find it was found. The journey is the destination. The journey is what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for, the journey. All right, we'll come back and wrap this up. As we conclude 111, we start with the word Hyla, okay? Hey, Ain, Lamed, Va, add up to 111. Several word associations. To go up, ascend. Now that's a big one to start with. To go up, ascend, climb, mount, grow, flourish, be lifted up, surpass, transcend, excel, be greater than, be superior to. When we see 111, including all of the exploration that we've gone into, Ekid and Aleph and Yud and Kaf, we put it all together. We also remember that when we looked at the Aleph, that when we spell the word out, as we have right here, Aleph, Lamed, Pei, we found that that came up to 111. So the initiator is telling us where it is going, what it is destined for, to go up, ascend, climb, mount, grow, flourish. Another thing we can glean when we see 111, that ultimately it speaks to confidence and self-esteem. Why? Why should you automatically have confidence and self-esteem? Because the initiating force has already told you what you're supposed to be doing. To go up, ascend, climb, mount, grow, flourish, be lifted up, surpass, transcend. These are not egotistical explorations or exaltations, I should say. Because ultimately, we're talking about humility. Because to achieve this confidence, this self-esteem, which is encoded in the meaning of Hyla, we see that we have to display humility. You must humble yourself to the path. To the path. So it's not the ego we're talking about. We're talking about something beyond that, transcends that. But we must humble ourselves, or that ego in us. In other words, not to discard it, but to make sure it stays in the passenger seat and not the driver's seat. 111 is also encased in the word matzvah. Mem, Samek, Va, Hey, matzvah, veiled. We can deduce that it's saying that the divine is veiled, hidden in humanity. This whole journey, this whole thing has been the divine coming to know itself. And then when we take the opposite of Aleph, which is we take, instead of the Pei being final, we now have Pei in its normal form. It's non-final form, so it starts the word. It's Pei, Lamed, Aleph, Pele. Pele, 111. It's a precious stone. And again, the reversal of Aleph. Aleph, which is the limitless light. Aleph is condensed by a contracting spiral back into the crown. Pele. The journey is the destination. The quest is the answer. The beginning is the end. Man is God having a human experience. If nothing else, when you see 111, remember, man is God having a human experience. The 111 is giving us context to what the whole game is. God finding itself. The divine knowing itself through the ultimate humility, which is humanity. Humanity is the ultimate humiliation. And the path is it finding it. Thus it is destined to ascend, transcend, mount, grow, climb, surpass humanity.